She left, and now you're stuck in that quiet war that plays out in the back of your mind every night. The kind where you lie awake, rereading old texts, wondering if she still thinks about you, if she's already moved on, if you mattered at all. Maybe you've already typed out that message, "Hey, can we talk?" and hovered your finger over the send button. Let me stop you right there, because if you want her back, there's one thing you absolutely cannot do. One mistake that almost every guy makes when he's heartbroken, confused, and desperate. A mistake that doesn't just push her further away, it destroys your dignity. It's not texting, it's not calling, it's not apologizing, it's handing over your power in the name of love. And once you do that, it's already over. So let's talk about what really works, about what actually gets her attention, about how to heal without falling apart. If you're serious about getting her back or getting yourself back, this is where it begins. Number 1, the biggest mistake men make after a breakup. When a breakup hits, most men don't grieve, they react. And the first reaction? Panic. You feel the void, the silence, the loneliness, so you rush to fill it. You start texting her things like, "I miss you," or "Please just talk to me," or even worse, "I'll change, I promise." You think if you just say the right thing at the right time, she'll come running back. But here's what you don't realize. When you reach out from a place of fear, you're not showing her love, you're showing her weakness, emotional chaos, insecurity. You're not pulling her in, you're pushing her further away, because nobody wants to come back to someone who's falling apart. The biggest mistake you can make is assuming that more effort equals more attraction. It doesn't. Attraction isn't logical. It's emotional, it's instinctive, and once she feels like she's in control, like you're dependent on her, the dynamic shifts, and it's almost impossible to come back from that. She might answer out of guilt, out of pity, but not out of desire, and that's the harsh truth. You can't beg your way into her heart, you can't guilt trip your way into love, and if you try, you lose both her and your self-respect in one move. So if you want her back, don't chase her, chase your dignity. Number 2, why distance is power. Here's something most men never learn. What you walk away from defines you just as much as what you fight for. When you stop calling, stop texting, and stop trying to convince her to care, something powerful happens. You break the cycle, you remove the pressure, you let her experience your absence fully, without reminders, without reach outs, without emotional noise. This isn't a trick, it's emotional discipline. Most people assume distance means giving up, but it's the opposite. Distance gives space for realization. It lets her see who you are without all the chaos, and more importantly, it lets you see who you are without her. It resets the energy. When a man goes quiet, he forces a woman to ask a very uncomfortable question. Why isn't he trying anymore? That curiosity is powerful, that silence speaks, but it only works if it's real. If you're genuinely focused on healing, on becoming better, not just pretending to play cool to get a reaction. Pulling away gives you perspective. It shows you the parts of yourself you ignored while chasing love. It reconnects you to your own voice, one that may have been drowned out by constant overthinking and emotional dependence. This is how you begin to lead again, not just in relationships, but in your life. Number 3, the myth of closure. Here's the lie that keeps most people stuck. I just need closure. But let's be honest, what you're really hoping for is reassurance. You want her to explain why she left, to justify it in a way that makes you feel better. You want her to soften the blow, tell you it wasn't your fault, tell you she still loves you, even if she's not coming back. But that's not closure, that's comfort, and most of the time, you won't get it. She might not tell you the truth. Hell, she might not even know the truth herself. Emotions are messy. People leave for 100 different reasons, and half the time, they don't even make sense to the person leaving. Waiting for closure is like waiting for a wound to heal while you keep picking at it. You don't need another conversation. You need to accept what is, not what could have been, not what should have been, but what is. Let go of the illusion that one more talk will give you peace. Peace doesn't come from her answers. It comes from your decision to stop needing them. Number 4, rebuilding from ground zero. Here's where most people get stuck. After the silence, after the pain, after the withdrawal, they don't know what to do next. So they wait for a message, for a sign, for some miracle that she suddenly realized what she lost. But waiting is just another form of hoping, and hope, when it's tied to someone else's choices, is just another prison. So what do? You rebuild, from the inside out. Get in shape, not for her, but because discipline will give you your confidence back. Clean up your space, start waking up earlier, get back into your purpose, even if it feels pointless right now. Create a version of yourself that doesn't revolve around her. Start winning in your own world, because here's what happens. When you rise, the past starts to look different. You start to see the red flags you once ignored. You stop romanticizing what was and start realizing what you deserve. And if she ever comes back, she won't be returning to the man she left. She'll be meeting a man who's grown so much he might not even want her anymore. Number 5. If she comes back, what then? Let's say the silence works. She texts you, calls you, tells you she's been thinking, maybe she even says she made a mistake. What do? First, you don't rush in. You've been through a storm, you've rebuilt from nothing, and now the very person who abandoned you wants back in. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making her beg. It's about clarity. Ask yourself, is she apologizing for what she did, or is she just lonely? Is she coming back because she misses you, or because she hates being alone? Is this love, or is this convenience? And more importantly, are you still that same man? Because if you're not, if you've genuinely grown, healed, and found peace, you won't fall into the same dynamic. You won't ignore red flags. You won't settle just to feel safe. This is your moment to lead, to set the tone, to decide, not based on fear, but on standards. Forgive if you want to, but forget the old version of you that would have done anything just to be wanted. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength, pure, silent, unapologetic strength. The kind that doesn't scream, the kind that doesn't beg, the kind that walks away with its head held high even when its heart is breaking. Because letting go doesn't mean you didn't love her, it means you finally loved yourself more. You stop clinging to false hope. You stop replaying what ifs. You stop waiting for someone to give you back what they chose to walk away from. You stop needing closure and realize you are the closure. The moment you stop explaining, stop chasing, stop needing, that's the moment you win. Real power comes from silence, from the space between one text and no reply, from the calm that replaces the storm when you finally say, I deserve more. And if she ever looks back, let her see a man who didn't collapse without her. Let her see a man who rebuilt, evolved, and became dangerous, not because he got bitter, but because he got better. So much better that the version of him she left doesn't even exist anymore. That's the art of letting go. Not in anger, not in resentment, but in calm, grounded, unshakable peace. Because that's what gets her attention. That's what gets your life back. And maybe that's what gets you. If this message hit home, if you've been struggling in silence, playing that mental tug of war with someone who left you behind, take a second and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're ready to rise above the noise, above the pain, and rebuild from something real. And drop a comment below. Not for them, for you. Because sometimes writing it out is the first step to letting go. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. And the next chapter starts with you.